Do men want to save their marriages? Most men think they're egalitarian, that is, until conflict hits or a big decision has to be made. On paper, you'll say all the right things. I believe in equality. We're partners. But let's be real. When the argument gets heated, or when there's an important decision to be made, do you actually share power or do you shut her down? Here's the reality of modern relationships. Most couples consciously operate like equals. Bills are split, chores are divided, decisions are mutual. But unconsciously, you're both still running on gender role scripts. For example, he shouldn't be so emotional, or she should be more nurturing, or a man should, or a woman shouldn't. And when the pressure rises, unhappy marriages almost always look the same. The husband refuses to share the power, or as the Gottmans call it, he refuses to accept her influence. So, why is sharing power so important? Because love cannot survive in a place where one person feels invisible. Can someone you make feel invisible ever truly believe you love them? That's the breaking point. Not money, not sex, and not kids. It's whether you can let her influence you, not in small, unimportant tasks, but in big decisions and when the argument is heated. Can you let her influence you, or does your ego demand control? Listen carefully. Marriage doesn't die because men share power. It dies because they don't. And then, here's the kicker. He wonders why sex stopped in the marriage. Instead of looking within, what does he say to soothe his ego? Women stop having sex with you once they get what they want. Translation, the ring. But let's get even more uncomfortable. Many men complain it's usually women who leave the marriage. Well, duh, buddy. Why would someone who's been sucking up all the power in the relationship like an anteater walk away? They're comfortable. And because I believe in paying it forward, let's have a little kiki together. The solution that many men come up with to save their marriage? Figure out how to get more power and take more control. Or as they used to say in the old days, take his balls back. Fix it, Jesus. Part 2. How married men hustle backward. The irony of the state of modern marriage is this. In an attempt to be validated, many men gravitated to red pill spaces. And let's be fair, we all need our feelings validated, at least sometimes. Did you hear that, gentlemen? You're not running to red pill because there's something wrong with women, or because you're too alpha, or because you're not alpha enough. You're running to red pill because you have feelings too. There's nothing inherently wrong with gravitating towards spaces that validate you. But here's the twist. The solution those spaces often push is to double down on stubbornness, be harder, be less compromising, and be more immovable. When in reality, stubbornness was already creating the very problems they were having in their relationships and marriages in the first place. And before the alpha males scream, that's not true, because in their minds, men had problems in relationships because they were too beta or too passive, let me ask you this. What if I told you passivity is actually a way to maintain control? Male passivity in relationships often shows up as saying all the quote unquote right things. Yes, babe, right away, babe. Whatever you say, babe, I'll do anything for you, babe. But as many married women will tell you, when she asks her husband to do something, I mean anything, even something that'll take 5 minutes, like throwing away an empty box, he'll do it whenever he feels like it. In other words, what men call beta or passive in marriage is often just another strategy for staying in control, not leading and not partnering, but controlling. And here's another layer of irony. We live in a culture that is either overtly so-called Christian or silently so-called Christian. That framework gets used as the excuse for why men are supposed to be the primary holders of power. But what many men miss is this. Your partner usually isn't after power. She's usually after emotional and psychological safety. Your obsession with being the man, whatever that even means, actually forces her to match your energy. Why? Because you're the man, remember? At its core, feminine energy doesn't submit just because he said so. Feminine energy mirrors the environment. You create a safe space, she feels safe, and she willingly, happily relinquishes more control because she doesn't have to keep her guard up. But if you want to protect her emotional and psychological health, and you also don't want her to protect her own emotional and psychological health, then who exactly is supposed to? Final reflection. Let's reflect on something uncomfortable. Do men who believe that women should be submissive really want her submission? Or are they after her unwilling submission, a submission given under pressure, force, or fear? In other words, does a woman's submission lose value if she actually wants to give it because she feels safe enough to do so? Or do many men secretly believe that submission and safety cannot coexist? And let's go even deeper. An argument can be made that a man's desire for dominance is really just his attempt at feeling safe. But here's the problem. If he can only feel safe when she feels unsafe, then a deeper conversation must be had.